welcome to Aesthetically Speaking. Today we are chatting to Joan Van Wyngaard, pharmacist, formulation scientist, marathon athlete, and the visionary behind Vitant Skin Care range. Vitant has positioned itself as a proudly South African skincare brand focused on science-backed ingredients, accessibility, and functional skincare solutions designed specifically for the local market. In an industry often driven by trends and marketing claims, today's conversation explores what really matters in skincare, and that is evidence-based ingredients, formulation integrity, and the future of functional skincare in South Africa. Joan, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start with how your idea for a skincare brand began.
Yeah, so I'm a supplement formulator, and I've got this doctor friend who's sort of like, my mentor and very much like a father figure. And a couple of years ago, he said to me, "Can't I just work on some skincare products?" He says that his patients also want to look good, but they can't afford all the products that are on the market. And yeah, he actually planted the seed. So it was by chance, but I've really enjoyed the journey so far.
Okay, and you're also known as the ingredients doctor, and this appeals to me. How did that name evolve?
Yeah, so it was actually during a brainstorming session for Vitant. We were sitting around the table and we were discussing Vitants and then the supplements like the Durance and, sort of what the strengths of the brand is. And one of the things that came to the front was like, "Joan, you are the brand. You are the face of the brand. You use the
Yes.
products, you formulate them." And then they said, "Okay, so, but what do you see yourself as? We need to define that." And we came up with the ingredients doctor, which I think is perfect because I love ingredients. I spend a lot of time researching ingredients, looking at their science, seeing whether it's worthwhile. So yeah, it was actually something that evolved through as brand a brainstorming session for Vitant just to see how I can define myself and my role in this brand.
And you do host webinars, don't you? Just tell us a
Yes, so
little bit
yeah.
more.
Yeah, so I also realized, I mean, part of the ingredients doctor is just to establish that credibility. I do a lot of
Yes.
talks. I always have, even before I started with Vitant or Vitagurance. I've had accredited CPD. So I love sharing information and, just giving people that knowledge to be able to make their own decisions regarding things. So I then subsequently started with weekly master classes, and the people love it. It's not just about my products. It's very much about ingredients, debunking myths, just
Yes.
telling people a little bit about a condition or like, retinol, the exosomes, cramping, excess acidity. So it's about skincare, but also about supplements. So it is then hosted by the ingredients doctor, which just establishes the credibility for both the brands.
Absolutely. And I think, something educational like that is so important because with social media, I'm sure you'll agree with me, there's so many myths. There's so much advice which doesn't really help an individual condition. So, yeah, I mean, education is key here. Um, One of the things that we hear about often in the healthcare space is functional medicine. And this relates to personalized systems biology approach to healthcare that focuses on identifying the root cause of a disease or condition rather than managing the symptoms. And correct me if I'm wrong, but so why functional skincare?
Yeah, so I was attending an expo. And I was looking at all my competitors, and then this thought crossed my mind that Vitant is a functional skincare brand because what I tried to do when I developed Vitant was to make sure that all the superheroes of aging is part of the range, not just build the range on one pillar or another pillar. Make sure you've got the microbiome, you've got vitamin B3, you've got the SPF, very strong antioxidants, alpha hydroxy acids, and all the ingredients is included in the right quantities based on the science, and they all have a function. So I thought It is functional skincare. It's not just something that's built on one hype or one ingredient or one modality. It's
Yes.
functional, and every ingredient has, various aspects that it covers. So for me, I just thought that distinguishes it. And I wanted to move away from at that expo, everyone was like, oh, this is natural skincare. And I think that's one of the biggest myths out there. What is natural? So I thought
Mm.
I'm not playing it fair. We are functional. Every ingredient's got a function, included in the right quantities. And it all makes sense. I want people to be able to only use Vitant. They don't have to shop around and maybe this serum from this brand and that one from this brand. Vitant, you've got everything that you need in one brand.
And I think you've touched on something quite important there because a lot of people think that, oh, well, if something is natural, it's great, it's good for me. And, you know, it's just not quite correct because a lot of the, say, natural ingredients have to go through a lab anyway.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. I mean, for me, there is no such thing as a natural ingredient. Even water is a chemical. So it
Yeah.
is just one of the biggest myths out in skincare. And people
Yeah.
do make that distinction. Natural is good for you, natural is effective, but natural can be very toxic as well. So, and
Yes.
it usually for me, it just means it's untested. That's why I wanted to make sure science is one of my big pillars in Vitant skincare, along with some simplicity as well, but science is very big for me. If it's not tested, all my claims I have the backing for, which is also important because, as I said, I am the face of the brand. So if I
Mm.
say this is what you can expect, it would be a direct reflection on me if it's not true.
Mm. So, touching on science, then, we know that very good skincare is based on good ingredients. And this is why products usually are so pricey. But notwithstanding that, I mean, it's also import duties and all of that and the marketing. But to get the quality ingredients that satisfy your standards, where do you go?
Yeah, so I think my background as a supplement formulator helped me quite a bit. I'm very active on LinkedIn. So I go look for the companies. So I follow a lot of biotech companies. I do believe biotech is the way of the future. I came across a few and I was very, I really like their science. They go find ingredients, microalgae based,
Yeah.
patent them, look at their mechanisms of action and then test them in vitro as well as in vivo. So I import the ingredients myself to bypass, any other handling fees. And that also helps me because I'm in direct contact with the manufacturers. I firsthand get all the latest research, new things that they're doing. And a lot of these companies really resonate with me because we all love science and they've got a pharma division as well. So they do know what is really required. So it's not like everything with Vitans, I've just upped it a little bit. So the science is a little bit higher. Even with the manufacturing, I've moved into a GMP facility because I wanted it to be on a higher level.
Okay. Just going back on your hero ingredients and why you've chosen these patented ones. Can you just break down what those ingredients are that that are in Vitant, the hero
Yeah,
ingredients?
yes, yeah. So our biggest hero ingredient is retinol. So it's also microalgae based. It's from a biotech company. It's got the in vitro as well as in vivo data. It's the type of a retinoid that gives you the results without the redness. It only works on one of the receptors that give you the effectiveness, but not the ones causing the redness and irritation, because that's also something I try to establish is
Yeah.
what if you have people, I'm very active, that have never used a skincare range with active ingredients. Now suddenly you introduce them to real ingredients and they're going to have a reaction. So
Yes.
what I tried to achieve was to have a range that is milder but still very effective. So anyone can use it even if they have sensitive skin. So my hero ingredients, so as I said, I've got all the superheroes of aging, as I mentioned before. And then I've got quite a few additional ones as well, all biotech actives, all patented, all microalgae based. So, it's a full assortment, but yeah, and then I balance the microbiome as well. Lactosporin is also in the range. that's not
Yes.
part of the superheroes of aging. But I felt, there's so much data on the microbiome and how important that is. So if that's not in place, whatever you put on your face, you're not going to be getting the right
Yes.
effects, So that's why that was the basis. That's my plus one. And then I've got my retinoid, I've got vitamin B3, I've got the alpha hydroxy acid, got a very strong antioxidant. But then I've also got a vegan biomimetic collagen from microalgae base that also comes with studies, the one ingredient where you have like results within 10 minutes. And we've got a vegan biomimetic exosome as well, which actually have won 6 international prizes already. So that ingredient, they're even venturing into hair care now. So amazing ingredient. So yeah,
Okay.
when you use a Vitant, you get all these ingredients in systems that make sense.
Mhm. All right. I want to just go back to something you touched on earlier and the importance of mentioning that these ingredients have been tested either in vivo or ex vivo. Could you just unpack that for us?
Yeah, so usually, as we said, back to natural ingredients, people usually say ingredients are natural, and then there's no data. Sometimes there
Yes.
is lab data or in vitro data, which is nice. It's always a first step, but that doesn't, how do you relate that to human data as
Yes.
well? So
Yes.
this biotech company takes it to the next level. So they start with in vitro, then they do ex vivo, which means it is in skin culture sets, and then it goes to in vivo as well, which means they have it in healthy volunteers, people that they're testing it in. So
Okay.
you know that by the time that you get the end product, you have, I've got all these results of all the things that they've tested. And it's not just subjective, it's a lot of other clinical assessments that they do as well, depending on the ingredients. So yeah, for me, it's very important, and all their mechanisms of action is very unique as well.
Okay, fantastic. And then you also mentioned the hair care range. So you have integrated this into Vitant, specifically looking at hair loss, which is a biggie in both men and women. Could you elaborate on the products available?
Yeah, so this is it's actually one of our best sellers, and it's also by chance that I started venturing into hair care. I think partly because I'm getting quite gray myself, and I was looking for something to combat premature graying. I think I have a very stressful lifestyle. And yeah, I found this biotech ingredient as well. I'm combining it with a prebiotic that also has data on, sensitive scalp, cradle cap and things like that. And I was absolutely blown away by this combination, and it's doing very well because it addresses premature graying, if that is due to your lifestyle, and it also addresses hair loss. And I mean, I think I've also had bouts of hair loss before because of thyroid issues. I went for an op in 2020 as well. And now that I'm nearing 50, that's also a change where people's hair either thin
Yes.
or they fall out. And this product has been, or this scalp leave-on treatment's been so popular that I then decided to do a shampoo and a conditioner is in the pipeline as well. But it's very innovative. Nobody else has it. So, I mean, if you know that you've got a very stressful lifestyle and you know that you turning gray faster because of that, this is a product for you. But also if your hair's falling out, and the reviews, other than the data that I have from overseas, I've done some consumer studies locally, and the results have been phenomenal. People saying that they've tried everything, because a lot of people put stuff on their hair if they have hair loss issues, but your hair's dead. You need to focus on the follicle.
That's,
And this is
yes.
where this product is so strong. It's in the liposome, so it works specifically on the follicle where you have the issue.
And I think it's just fascinating that it reverses that the the gray hair growth. It's just like mind-boggling. I'm so sorry for the hair salons if this takes off, but I mean, just a quick mini review because I've been using both the shampoo and the leave-in treatment, which by the way is absorbed so phenomenally quickly that you really, really don't need, to worry about product in your scalp or your hair that is greasy or sticky or anything like that. But a review will come later. But I am just fascinated about the ingredients in that one. And talking about, putting more into the range, you're a marathon runner, and isn't the next Comrades coming up for you?
Yeah, so on Sunday, Commerce number 10 for me. I've done
Yes.
10 to Osh. I'm very, very excited for that as well for you.
And so we wish you all the best for that. But you've developed a supplement range that addresses inflammation, recovery, relief from both acute and chronic pain, as well as immune support. So let's talk about this range.
Yeah, so this is the Vitant range, and I'm going to touch on two of the supplements. I always refer to them as Romeo and Juliet, and I've really done well with
Lovely.
the two of them in under the runners. We've got quite a few people using it. We've got a comrade special now that we doing with the both of them. So it's two different things. So the one is your collagen. So it actually doubles up also for beauty, but it's like a multi collagen. It's got eggshell membrane in there, and then it's got native collagen. So together those two are types 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, and 10. Collagen absorbed very well. The native collagen is not absorbed, but it works on your chondrocytes and puts you into repair mode. There's like a herbal component to it as well, addressing inflammation. There's vitamin K2 in as well. So that's your baseline. That's your once a day. Protects your joints. It's good for your skin, good for your tendons as well. And people love it. So that's the baseline. Then I've got one other one that's my signature actually. It's the PA. It stands for palmitoyl ethanolamide. Has a very long name for something that is naturally present in your body. You secrete it when you have pain. But if you have chronic pain, then that system gets a little bit haywire. I came across it because I do have scoliosis. I have a half an extra vertebra in my back. So I know about pain and nerve pain. But when it was a drug discovery for allergies, actually, but when I looked at the data, I was absolutely blown away in terms of osteoarthritis, pain because of nerve issues. And then there's a lot of studies also on immunity, exercise recovery. And yeah, the supplement has really done well. A lot of people take it for nerve issues, for joint issues. But what's a nice spin off is it has a white paper on immunity. So since I've been taking it, I haven't been getting sick as
Mm.
at all as well. So
Yeah.
it's similar to CBD, but it's not CBD. So it has two effects: reduces inflammation, reduces pain. And inflammation is actually aging as well. So very good for inflammaging as well, the way that
Yes.
they say it, which also causes aging. So those two are actually my number one and two in terms of the best sellers. And yeah, I've even got some really good athletes using it. A vet from Sales started with it now. She said to me she's telling all the people that's running, that she's coaching, that it's working so well. So there's more products in the range, but I think for most active people, if
Those
they use those two, they
two.
are covered. Yes.
Yeah. And I should imagine they would also enhance better sleep. Once you get rid of that pain and you address all the other issues you mentioned, then your sleep, would come right. And sleep is beauty sleep is not just a phrase, it's true that you do need
Yes,
your beauty
yeah.
sleep.
I actually had studies on sleep as well, now that you mention it. So
Uh,
it is actually something that is just so versatile and has so many effects in the body. So I think people start using it for one thing, and then
But then they
later on they
find
just
the
realize
benefits for other issues. Yeah,
that.
fantastic. I have to ask you how the name Vitant emerged. There has to be a story behind it.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm a road runner and I've got lots of friends here in George, and they actually also motivated me to start the range. We would go jogging and then they would be, Joan, where are you? We're aging. We need these products. And I think they kept on pestering me. And then at a stage we sat together and we're like, okay, but what are we going to call these products? And Vitant is actually a name we came up with together. It's something between vitamins, vitality, vita, that means life. So it is something that was just a group effort amongst all my friends here in George, my fellow runners, that said to me, please just hurry up. We need the
Yeah.
skincare range. And then I said to them, well, we need a name. So yeah, so it was actually
I
just
love
a
it.
group discussion.
Yeah, oh, I love that. I love it. So, what about the future of Vitant Skin Care? I mean, the aesthetic medical industry has innovations that happen so quickly. It just makes my head spin. Are there any other products in the wings waiting? Is there something
Yes.
else that's coming up?
Yeah, so I am a formulator. So I always say, okay, now I'm finished, but I've realized that that's never going to happen because I'm
Never.
going to come across new things and develop new things. So one, one big launch that's coming other than the body things that are in process. We're working on a body wash and there will be a body lotion as well. But as I mentioned before, I'm turning 50 and I've realized that I have a lot of friends in the same age category between 40 and 50, perimenopause, menopause, some
Yes,
changes. So I'm working on a 50 specific range, 50 plus,
correct.
and it will be the
Hey,
base because Vitant, yeah, Vitant is developed so nicely that if you do your core range, you've got a retinoid morning and night, and you've got the microbiome, and you've got vitamin B3, and you've got the SPF. So the
yeah,
core range will always stay, but I'm
yes,
bringing in an additional serum as well, which is cutting edge. They've just launched it now. It actually works on your cell, sort of reprogramming it to act younger. So that's going to come in there as well. I'm working on something for lips to give it a little bit of plumping, and it's got astaxanthin in for a little bit of color. And then based on the great results with the Vitant Scalp Leave-On treatment, I'm working on a new follicle treatment as well, biotech as well, which actually has results within 30 days, which is unheard of. So it's growth factors, it works on your follicles specifically. So this will not be premature graying and hair loss. It will address hair loss as well, but hair thinning too. Because a lot of times people go into menopause and their estrogen levels decline. And
yes,
part of that is your follicles get smaller, got finer hair, and
yes.
they just want to do something for a little bit of volume as well. So yeah, this I'm actually planning the 50 plus launch. I'm thinking around about August this year will probably be a good time. But yeah, working on the prototypes and everything. So very, very excited for those ones.
Fantastic. Yeah, just before spring. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. It's always good to hear that brands don't ignore the 50 plus, 60 plus, 70, 80. We live
Mm,
into hundreds. So you, Joan, you've got your work cut out. You need to carry on till you get to the hundreds range, I think.
yeah.
But it's been fascinating. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing all these insights with us. It's actually been fascinating to explore the science behind functional skincare with you, the ingredient integrity and the future of evidence-based aesthetic innovation in South Africa. I'm sure we'll all be so proud of you. And thank you to everybody watching as well. I hope you enjoyed the conversation and head off to the website Vitant to have a look. And until next time, bye bye.